Welcome to CCN News. I am your host, Captivating Christian, and here are some of your top stories for today, February 27th. The CDC blindsided White House with coronavirus update as Trump aides fears panic could doom their 2020 chances. 4 lawmakers vote against the House bill to make lynching a federal hate crime, citing government overreach. How the U.S. Census is missing people of color and why it is so harmful. How Alabama blocked a man from voting because he owed $4. A Chicago school called this a stir for celebrating African animals during Black History Month. And Black teens shocked after basketball announcer calls their names disgusting. Let's get to the news. The White House was not prepared for the updates that the Center for Disease Control provided them this week about the coronavirus, Politico reported. Thus far, 60 Americans have contracted this disease in the United States, including those who were left on a quarantine cruise ship and eventually secretly brought back to the United States. It was announced on Wednesday that the first case of the communal spread of the coronavirus occurred in California. Dr. Nancy Messonnier leads the National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases under the CDC, and when she met on Tuesday with the Department of Health and Human Services, the White House officials, she startled them with the facts about the public danger. We are asking the American public to work with us to prepare for the expectations that this could be bad. Messonnier said in a briefing that when she explained that the public spaces like schools may have to be closed to contain the spread, top Trump advisors have worried that the panic over a still unseen U.S. outbreak could threaten the president's re-election. Politico reported, and the HHS Security Secretary Alan Zarr and other officials have spent the week trying to calm the public to little avail. It was a Republican senator who hammered acting Homeland Security Advisor Chad Wolf over his ability to keep Americans safe. Comparing HHS and DHS answered questions all revealed that the Trump officials aren't even certain about the vaccine facts. Historic legislation that would make lynching a federal hate crime passed the House by nearly unanimous consent on Wednesday, with 4 representatives opposing it. 3 Republicans voted against the measure. GOP members Ted Yoho of Florida, Louis Gohmert of Texas, and Thomas Massie of Kentucky. The chamber's lone independent, Jason Amash of Michigan, who famously switched from Republican to independent over his support for impeaching President Donald Trump, also voted no. 16 members did not vote. The proposal, however, received a board of bipartisan support and passed 410 votes to 4. Republicans accused the legislation of being an overreach of federal government and encroaching on states' rights. The legislation, if enacted, could add lynching to the list of current criminal civil rights violations. So take a second and imagine trying to count every single living person in the United States. There are 2 ways you can mess this up. You can count some people twice and not count some people at all. In the 2010 census, the Census Bureau made both of those mistakes when they counted 3% of the population twice and omitted another 3, making this opposite direction overall population count almost perfectly accurate. But what it revealed was who gets counted twice and who gets left out. That's where race historically plays a big role in government numbers. The mammoth task of conducting the 2020 census, however, is already underway. But last time, 9% of Black people in the United States were simply missed, a rate that was higher than any other racial or ethnic group. The Census Bureau has double counted 4% of black residents and were able to make an educated guess about the other 3%, and so left a net undercount of 2%. There are many reasons, of course, why people are missed by the Census Bureau. Residents are hard to contact, they live in inaccessible places, hard to interview, limited English proficiency, hard to locate due to homelessness, so on and so forth. Gender and age, however, also play a factor too. Black children are twice as likely to be undercounted as children who are not black. And since the U.S. criminal justice system incarcerates black people by 5 times the rate of white people, prison gender gerrymandering, can occur. Young black men will be counted by the census as residing within a prison, which inflates the population count and politicians' representation. In 2018, with the midterm elections approaching, Alphonso Tucker Jr. was particularly eager to vote. The mayor of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Tucker's hometown, was running for governor, and the year before, he had canvassed for Douglas Jones, a Democrat running in a closely watched U.S. Senate race. But Tucker wasn't able to cast his ballot. The state officials refused to even let him register. It wasn't until weeks later he learned why he was deprived of his right to vote. He owed the state $4. The U.S. is founded on the promise of democracy and fair representation, but it is also the country where minorities are frequently disenfranchised for political gain. Among the most vulnerable are millions of Americans, disproportionately African Americans like Tucker, who had been entangled in America's racially biased criminal justice system and lost civil liberties like voting as a result. To honor Black History Month, 3 white teachers at the Elizabeth H. Sutherland Elementary School in Beverly assigned the project to the students. We are celebrating African American History Month in various ways at the Sutherland School this month. The letter reads, which was sent home to parents, since our students have a genuine interest in animals and love to learn about them, we are going to take a closer look into African animals. Almost immediately there was outrage from parents, even though the letter that was sent to the parents included a picture of an animal that the teachers claimed the children had chosen to color. Many of the parents, particularly the black parents, didn't believe it. Their children's assignments, they said, came with pictures of a monkey. Dozens of parents took their complaints to social media, explaining that the animals have nothing to do with Black history. At worst, assignment had racist undertones. A longtime announcer at high school basketball games in Oklahoma sparked outrage last week when he said that black players on the Cooks Oak High School ladies basketball team had disgusting names. Local news station KFOR reports that the announcer made the remarks during the game between the Cook Oaks and the rival Newkirk's high school game on Friday. In a video, the announcer can be heard saying that the Cooks Oaks ladies Roughnecks. Now there's some pretty disgusting names. A friend of the announcer tells KFOR that he meant to say that the women's names were difficult to pronounce and didn't mean to call them disgusting. Nevertheless, many players on the team were shocked at what they heard. And once again, thank you for watching CCN News. I am your host, Captivating Christian. And as always, be the change you want to see. If you want change, the change starts with you. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. And leave comments below. I would like to hear what you think about these stories and more. All right, have a good day. Peace.